Welcome back to the channel. My name is Brady Prenslow and this is Race Age 50 because this year my race age is 50. And my goal with this channel, we'll see if it actually comes to fruition, would be to record all of my races in this transitional year. And it is April 27th and this is officially my first race of the year. And I say that because they are giving us a number for the Miesville. It's a 55-mile gravel race down near Cannon Falls, Minnesota. So that is where I'm headed. I think the funniest thing about this race is that until about a day and a half ago, I thought it was Saturday when I signed up, and it is indeed Sunday morning. So changed my weekend plans a little bit, but on the good note, it kept me in line last night when I got together with friends. So was in bed by 11, got a good 6.5, 7 hours of sleep, and again, headed down to Miesville for a 10 o'clock gravel start. And really excited. There's maybe 350, close to 400 people registered, which is kind of crazy because I'm used to racing crits where I'm literally rolling up with 20 of my closest friends to do these gravel races that have sometimes 15 times more people. Makes for the first few laps can be a little bit interesting. I think most people kind of self-select themselves out or in, but again, it's really important to be up front for those first few miles, especially in the crosswinds, which a lot of people figured out the hard way in the freewheel ride last week. So speaking of that ride, I was feeling really good during that ride and lost a shifter. I realized in the meantime it was because I put a generic coin battery in my shifter and SRAM did not like that. So I have now replaced all of my shifter batteries with some Duracell coin batteries, and hopefully will not ever run into that problem again, because riding the last 20-25 miles in one gear by myself wasn't really what I signed up for last week. And really goals for this race, I would love to finish with the leading group, but given the profile of this course is a little up and down, I'm guessing there are plenty of dudes that can go up gravel hills a lot faster than I can. So if I could finish with the second or third group on the road, I would feel like mission accomplished. But with all of these races so early in the season, my main goal is to not crash and to get a good workout. And of course, the camaraderie, why we do what we do, right, on bikes, to have a good time. Right now it is raining as I'm driving down there, but it looks like once this little cell goes through, knock on wood, we should be racing in the dry weather. So nothing worse than sitting at the start line getting rained on, but hopefully this will pass before the 10 o'clock start and we might be rolling out on some mushy gravel, but not getting rained on while we do it. So we'll see if that comes to fruition or not. So that's sort of my plan going in. I don't have a lot of teammates. I think I just have a couple donkey label teammates, close friends. So obviously I would love to be able to ride with them as long as I could. Aaron had a fantastic race last week, got a bridging up to that leading group. So he's a little guy, he can climb, so he should do pretty well on this profile. But I've never rode any of this gravel, any of these roads. So every turn, every hill will be brand new to me. But if nothing else, it'll be a great warm-up for next week's race in La Crosse. Super excited. I'll do a little recap after the race and let you know how it goes. Thanks. All right, that was a race. Just wrapped things up and didn't rain. Rained all the way down, so the roads were nice and muddy. My bike is nice and muddy and my face is nice and muddy, but all things considered, no mechanicals, and I guess the biggest factor was probably the wind. I'll talk a little bit more about the race coming back, but overall, super fun morning on the bike. I don't know. I was maybe the third group on the road and top 30, top 25 best, but great workout. Can't wait to look at my data and see how things went. All right, I am driving home from the Miesville 56-mile gravel race and super fun. I definitely will go back and do that again next year. And all things considered, very happy with my race. I didn't finish with the lead group. I think I was maybe the third group on at the finish, so don't feel too bad about that. But all in all, great day. It did rain as I was headed down, but it was not raining at the start. Made it a little difficult to figure out exactly how muddy it was going to be. You know, the things, what to wear. Do I wear shoe covers? And I did end up wearing shoe covers. Glad I did, just to save cleaning my shoes. But we started off, and I couldn't tell you exactly how many, maybe 300. I'm sure some were no-shows because of the weather, but we rolled out at 10, and there was, maybe about a mile and a half rollout on pavement, and we took a left, getting onto the gravel, and I think it was Chris Stevens up front with a disc wheel. Must have been ripping at about 1,000 watts, because for the first 3, 4, 5 miles of gravel, we were flying. My eyes were rolled back in my head, and I kept saying, yep, this is going to slow down. This will slow down. Don't pull the ripcord. Don't pull the ripcord. It'll slow down. And yes, once 2 riders got away, things did slow down a little bit, and we started kind of rotating through in the crosswinds, because we're going, it was kind of a mix. Tailwind at the start, and then crosswinds followed by crosswinds, headwind quite a bit in the middle. But made a selection of, I don't know, there must have been 35 riders if I had to guess. I'm terrible at guessing. And then 2 riders up the road. And we were together for the first 25 miles or so. We went into a minimum maintenance road with some big chunky rocks going downhill, which was a little harrowing, but didn't feel too bad about that. Was still with the main group at that point as well, again with 2 riders being up the road. But then once we got onto the pavement again, it was terrible crosswinds, and I should have positioned myself a little bit better, but ended up getting guttered on the side of the road, trying to stay in the echelon. And at that point, I did pull the ripcord. I didn't pull it too hard. I eased off, knowing that I could not maintain that level for too much longer and still finish the race. At that point, there were still about 20 miles left. So kind of filtered back, and there ended up being about 4 of us riders. And we did a great job kind of rotating through in the headwind, taking pulls in shielding and echeloning in the crosswinds. And I guess my big takeaway about the last 10 or 12 miles is that it was definitely hilly. Needed to save something in the tank, which I felt pretty good about. Quite a few ups and downs there at the very end of the race. The group I was with, a couple of the guys did put in a sprint, and I was happy to just roll through. I'm not quite sure how much of the race we covered, since it was a 2-hour and 50-minute race. I'm guessing I probably got about the first 2 hours on my DJI action, but again, at this point, I don't know how much of the race I ended up getting footage of. But again, super fun race. I think I burned about 2,800 calories. I'll be interested to look at my data. It took me about 2 hours and 51 minutes. I think my average power was about 250. I haven't looked at my nominal power yet, but that must be up there as well. So perfect warm-up for next weekend's Lacrosse Omnium. Plan to do nothing, maybe just some stretching tomorrow, and then do a few easy rides Tuesday, a little opener on Thursday, and then head down to Lacrosse on Friday for time trial Friday and road race Saturday and crit on Sunday. And right now, knock on wood, the weather looks fantastic. So hopefully I will get my race wheels back from Head at some point this week. Changing out my drivetrain, so I'll have a nice clean drivetrain going down to Lacrosse, and can suffer on some more hills down there as well. So all told, very fun morning with some awesome guys. Again, I think if you're looking for probably the coolest, most welcoming crew to ride with, I would put gravel racers at the top of the list. Mountain bike racers aren't bad. I know road cyclists get a bad rap, and most of that is an accurate representation, but again, very good crew. I'm hoping to do at least 4 or 5 more gravel races over the course of this season. Great way to spend a morning, and definitely motivating to lay down the power It's hard to get that motivated when you're by yourself on a solo ride or even on the trainer. So I will be back next year for sure. So thanks for watching.